Then what?
I remember going out into the lobby and, talking with a few people, and Jeff and Mike came out, the two main attorneys, and Pat came out, and we all hugged, and I said exactly what you just asked. Now what? And Jeff's like, we're done. I'm like, we're done. He's like, you took it as far as you can go in the state law of Minnesota.
But you're not stopping. So that was the...
No, I remember asking Jeff and Pat, I'm like, okay, so when do I get to start speaking? When do you start finding luncheons and things that I can go to and start talking? Because that's what's going to have to happen.
Right, right.
And so there was a bill that was tried to be passed back in the late 90s, I think it was, around statute of limitations and failed, and several other attempts. And a couple of legislators said we're going to go forward, and Bob Sawerski from SNAP and Jeff asked if I would testify.
And SNAP is the Survivors Network of
Abuse by Priest.
Abuse by Priest, okay.
And I was like, absolutely. And so I got to go sit before several Senate and congressional subcommittees and tell my story. And that was awesome. That was really powerful.
So now you are in front of policymakers.
Now I'm in front of people who
forgive
can
me,
change.
but you'd struggled to get the policies changed through the court system. Now you're going straight to the court, the law creators.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yep. And it was really powerful as they sat at their table, and I said, Jim, you're never going to get another 2.5 minutes with this audience. So I made sure I got to look at everybody's face. I had a couple that wouldn't look at me, which I found interesting. And
what do you make of that?
I think it's a really hard time sometimes for people. I think it's hard. I think it's hard I think it's hard for people to actually get their arms around the fact that it happens. That's the hardest thing, because priests aren't supposed to do that.
Priests aren't supposed to do that, and many victims don't come out quite as whole as you've...
No, I've been so fortunate. When I look back at my journey, I mean, the fact that my bride didn't leave when I was a dork and drinking like a fish and angry and bitter, and because I was always scared, as a professional person in the community, you always want a certain
and it's psychologists no less.
Absolutely.
Child's family as well.
Our work is all with kids, ages 2 to 20. And I think sometimes my family got my lowest points, and people I didn't know got my high points. And so I've been really fortunate to have really strong support. My kids, are awesome. We're very open in our family, so I talked to my kids about it. I shared with them what happened.
And this is your whole focus right now, is to keep things open, to talk about this not only in your family, but also in public and also in front of policymakers. And how did they react, other than the...
I got really good feedback afterwards. From the committees I talked to. The Congress people working on the bill were very happy. You can't fight the concept that everybody needs their day in court. Every victim, what makes us great is our voice. And I wasn't shy about saying that I felt like my voice had been robbed. Because of timelines, especially when the other entity wasn't arguing whether or not it happened.
Right. So in effect, they implied that they agreed, yes, Father Tom Adamson had abused you. They didn't do anything to deny that whatsoever. All they did was say, too late.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, pretty much. That was their course, and I just really took the strong approach of that we need to have a voice. And so we need to do away with the statute of limitations.
Was it useful in your mind to meet with the Congress people to do this testimony?
Yes, it was really good for me. It was good for me in a healing process because I got to see some of the wheels turn. I liked some of the questions. One person asked, well, what's to stop somebody who didn't get abused to come up and say, and I just was able to honestly look and say, you couldn't go through the journey I went through faking it.
So Jim, so you're meeting with Congress people. You're finding that it's very fulfilling, or it's very gratifying. You're feeling that you're understanding now how laws are created, and how, in fact, my sense is you're also understanding that there are certainly lawmakers, and this counters what a lot of us citizens sometimes feel these days. But there's lawmakers that really do care, that really do want to do something to improve our society.
100%. I was also open to the idea that their job isn't just to protect me as a victim. Their job is also to protect the accused. And they, you know, as much as I wanted them to come in and just throw out the statute of limitations, let's get everybody taken care of, you know, it was very eye-opening to see okay, we hear your part, and we're going to take it, and we're going to think about it, we're going to mill it through, and we're going to come up with fair for everybody. And
you felt that that was a fair process?
Yeah,
more fair than when you approached the church?
Oh, yes. I mean, I was heard. I felt heard by the lawmakers, and that felt really good.